The exhibit itself is the culmination of 6 years of programming at the Southwest Folkslife Alliance, specifically looking at the intersection of culture and end-of-life grief, death, dying, and loss. And so what you'll see in the exhibit is a culmination of public events, ethnographic documentation, hundreds of community members from cultural backgrounds throughout southern Arizona who have all contributed to dedicated deep conversations around how they move through death as a community, how they express themselves culturally at end of life, where there are issues or barriers to those expressions and practices in their own community, and how we collectively move through loss. Part of the intention of the exhibit is to really create more ways in which we can do that with humility and respect as a society, and how we can really fundamentally change the way we think about and plan for death. The exhibit has also been enhanced by other curatorial elements that were included by one of my co-curators, Kimmy Eisel, and Lisa Falk, who's the Director of Community Engagement here at the museum. And so you find very intentional spaces that are created for people to also engage in their own thought process.
You know, there's several things that are really important to me about the exhibit. One is, for all of our exhibits, we try to collaborate with different organizations in the community and to bring in different voices to the museum, to the interpretation, to offer different perspectives and experiences for visitors in our galleries. Particularly exciting to work with the Southwest Folkslife Alliance. When we started talking about doing an exhibit on end-of-life practices, we were looking at a traveling exhibit that focused on a practice that is done in our community, but the exhibit focused on a community in southern Mexico. And in our discussions, we said, well, wait a minute, we have lots of resources here in Tucson. And I said, in fact, I know that the Southwest Folkslife Alliance has been part of the Arizona End-of-Life Care Partnership for many years, working on doing research. I'd been to some of their programming, and I said I'd love to talk to them about partnering and sharing the information from that research with our community through an exhibit. So that was very exciting to me, that we had that opportunity, that the museum embraced it, loved it, wanted to work with the Southwest Folkslife Alliance to talk about a very important issue. This was pre-pandemic that we started talking about this 3 years ago. And so, you know, we didn't know that that was going to come and make this so much, even the space for grief, space for reflection, so much more important to the community now than it was even, 2.5 years ago.
It's important to us as the primary funders of the Arizona End-of-Life Care Partnership, and the Southwest Folkslife Alliance is one of those partners. And we tried to bring together the different organizations in the community that were working on different aspects of end-of-life care, and have them all come together and share with one another what they're doing, and then also grow together as a partnership. And this is sort of an outgrowth of that, and a very public-facing part of that. And for us, end-of-life care and talking about death and dying has always been, it's a taboo subject. We don't like to talk about it. But by bringing all these different groups together and having them work with their own constituents and the community over the last 6 years, going on 7 years, it's been very important as a cultural shift. And this exhibit is an example of that. It's how we can come and share and openly talk about end of life, what it means to prepare for end of life, caring for someone at end of life, and then mourning them after.
There's an area that focuses on ghost bikes, for example, an area that focuses on a Tucson celebration of ours, the All Souls procession. There are images of crosses left for migrants in the desert. So ways in which we have seen and experienced death and loss on a large scale or a community scale, and how we together mourn and experience loss in those moments and times.
The exhibit is open to the public. When the museum's open, which is Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. There is an admission charge to get in. You can go to our website to find out about where to park and what the admission is. We are having a free public day on November 19th, where we'll have a lot of programming related to the exhibit. There'll be performances, discussions, talks, story circles, art making, writing activities, all related to this exhibit. People can meet some of the people in the 4 videos that talk about cultural practices. So there'll be a lot going on, and that's November 19th.